Hey guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome back to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be doing the rapid fire book tag, and honest to god, the search for a tag was hilarious just then. So I originally wanted to do the Guilty Reader book tag, and then I realised upon actually reading the questions for that one that all my answers were no, which does not make for a very good video. And then I was like, I will do a different one and a different one, and I just was so uninspired. And then I saw that Zoe, I think it's read by Zoe, I'll link her channel down below. She's done the rapid fire book tag, and I also want to say that I really miss Zoe's videos. She was a YouTuber, a booktuber that I really loved reading back when she was like posting more regularly, but obviously that's not happening anymore and I miss her. But that's fine, that's not the point of today. Today we're going to be doing the tag. It was originally created by Girl Reading, so I will link her video in the description box down below. So it consists of 20 questions. The idea is to just read through them and answer them like rapid fire as quickly as you can. So I haven't read the questions, I haven't actually watched anyone's video on this for quite some time, so we're just gonna roll with it, roll with the punches and go nice and quick. So I've got all the questions on my phone, so let's go. Okay, so the first question is ebook or physical book, and hands down my answer for that is physical book. I don't like ebooks. I've recently got a Kindle for practical reasons, for having an e-reader, but on the whole I don't enjoy reading ebooks at all. I just don't. I don't enjoy it. I want to know how far from the end I am. I want to hold the book and I want to not have to like clear my screen and then accidentally change pages and do stuff with this stuff. Ebooks frustrate me and physical books are beautiful. Okay, the second question is paperback or hardback, and I'm gonna go with paperback. If we're talking from a sense of reading, always a paperback. If we're talking about what looks better on a shelf, then probably hardback, but hardbacks are just too heavy and too clunky, and you have to remember where you put the dust jacket, and they're not practical for walking around with and having in your handbag. So paperbacks all the way, especially because they're also considerably cheaper, at least in Australia. The next question is online or in-store book shopping. I love shopping in bookstores. I'm continually frustrated by the lack of choice, however. Australia does not have any massive bookstores. No, I take that back. Perth does not have any massive bookstores. So unlike London or New York or many other places in the world, there's just not one of those gigantic multi-story bookstores where there's massive ranges. Dymocks is the singular chain of bookstores over here just about, and I often go and can't find what I want, so I have to shop online. But if I could shop at that Waterstones in Piccadilly Circus in London every day, I would. Next question is trilogies or series, and I think I'm gonna pick trilogies. I don't tend to finish series if they go beyond 4 books because I get distracted, and it's just the biggest commitment ever. So trilogies all the way because I'm more likely to finish them. The next question is heroes or villains? Villains, of course, who doesn't love villains? Villains are the best. I always love the villains, and the Darkling is the first villain that comes to mind. And we all know just how beautiful he is. I'm just, oh, love the Darkling so much. Next question is a book you want everybody to read. My answer to that is always and will always be Tiger's Curse by Colleen Houck. We know that this is my favourite book. I have gifted this to so many friends to try and make them read it. If someone asks me for a reading recommendation, I'm always like, read Tiger's Curse by Colleen Houck. Colleen Houck is an amazing author and all of her books are brilliant. And Tiger's Curse is just fantastic, so if you haven't read it, please read that book and enjoy how beautiful Ren is. It has also got representation of Indian mythology in it, so there's that extra bit of fun there. Anything, I will sell this book to you and you will read it. The next question is, recommend an underrated book. There are many. Okay, but one that comes to mind is Because You'll Never Meet Me, and I can't remember, I think it's Leah Thomas. I'll put the cover up so you can see it, but Because You'll Never Meet Me is a beautiful, I think it actually falls into sci-fi, but it's like a contemporary read about people with disabilities, but people with very strange disabilities. So the main character is allergic to electricity, so he has to live an Amish life essentially because he can't be around electricity or it causes him to have seizures, and he becomes a pen pal with someone who was born without eyes and uses echolocation to find and see things just like dolphins do, and really just strange things. And that is a brilliant contemporary novel that I would recommend that you read because it is just awesome. It's really, really, really awesome. The next book is the last book that you finished. I haven't finished a book for a really long time. I think the last book I finished was Hunted by Megan Spooner, and that was brilliant, but I haven't finished a book for like a week now, which is really upsetting. But I'm about to finish The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, so it's fine. I've literally handed in one of my last assignments today for uni, so we're gonna have time to read soon, guys. I'm so excited. The next book is The Last Book You Bought. Well, Oh, this is awkward. Now I have to admit to the fact that I bought 10 books the other day. With the Black Lives Movement that's been happening at the moment, I actually made a pledge to myself, which I wasn't going to talk about, but I bought 10 diverse books that have been recommended. So I bought 10 books. So hang on, I'll tell you which books I got. We'll go through this shameful list of 10 books, but basically what happened is all of the books that I shared on one of the days, on like the first day when all of the recommendations started coming through on Instagram, I bought all of the recommendations that I found, which, yes, cost me a lot of money, but I think that it's wonderful to support these authors. So I will let you know which ones I got so that you too can possibly go and buy some of them. I just have to find my order. So I got The Good Luck Girls, which is a historical fiction. I got The Daughters of Nri, or Nri, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. And then A Song of Wraiths and Ruins, Raybearer, Mirage, The City We Became, The Deep, Forest of Souls, A River of Royal Blood, and Hunted by the Sky. So yeah, okay. Yep, that happened. That was the thing that happened. Let's just move on. The next question is, weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? I'm actually not someone who is without a bookmark very often. I have hundreds of those things, as many of us do. I'm struggling to think of a time when I've not had one. I don't think I have a fun answer for this question, so let's just move on. Used books, yes or no? Absolutely yes, but not if they're in tatters. I have no problem with secondhand books. I love going to book fairs and getting them on the cheap. I especially love the ones where like fill a box of books for $10. That's why I have so many books on my bookshelf. Top 3 favourite genres. First favourite genre is fantasy, second favourite genre is historical fiction, third would be young adult sci-fi. I specify young adult because hardcore like adult sci-fi, all that proper stuff that's tough going. That's very tough going. Borrow or buy? Almost always buy, I'm afraid. I think we can tell that I am a buyer. Most of my spending money is spent on books, I'm afraid. I went through a phase where I tried to use the library. I like going to the library and I like coming out with lots of books and not having spent anything. But I like buying my books so that I have my own library at home. Characters or plot? Characters for sure, because even if the plot is amazing but I hate the characters, then the book is ruined. But I could potentially see myself loving characters so much that I would persevere my way through a trashy novel. Long or short books? I actually think I prefer reading long books, but I am more likely to pick up shorter books because I am intimidated by how long books are, but I do love how much you establish a world and a relationship with the character and the story. If it's a massive book like Outlander. Long or short chapters? Definitely short chapters. Why don't all authors write with short chapters? I will read a book 100 times faster if the chapters are short. There was one book I read recently called Q by Christina Dolce, and that had such short chapters that I binged it because I couldn't stop reading it. It wasn't like, oh, I finally finished a chapter, let's take a break. It was like, oh, maybe just one more. And it was, I've never been so caught in that cycle of just one more chapter before, so definitely short. Name the first 3 books you think of. Homegoing, and Then There Were None, and Court of Thorns and Roses. I would love to know why those were the 3 books that came to mind, but there we go. Books that make you laugh or cry. Actually books that make me cry, because I think a lot of books make me have a chuckle, but books like The Fault in Our Stars, which feels like a really cliched answer, but okay, it wasn't a cliched answer when it came out. Books that make me cry are significant. I do not cry in that many books, so it's always exciting and surprising to find yourself so attached to a character that you're sitting there sobbing there like a child. Like, oh my god, what book was it? Dear Mrs. Bird? Oh, that got me good. That got me so good. Our world or fictional worlds? Obviously fictional worlds, like high fantasy is where it's at. Audiobooks, yes or no? Yes. See my last video. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? I mean, the question should be, do I ever not judge a book by its cover? Like, I will buy anything if it has a nice cover, and that's probably not a lie. Book to movie adaptations or book to TV adaptations. I do think it probably depends, but on the whole I would say TV, book to TV, because coming from the perspective of someone who's read things, you're probably more likely to enjoy a more fleshed out version than what a movie can offer you, but that's not to say that movies can't be good. Just from the reader's perspective, I think TV's better. A movie or TV show you prefer to its book? Okay, I have an answer for this. I wouldn't have before now, but Bridget Jones's Diary. Oh my god, I hated the book. I didn't like it. I read it last month and I was shocked by how little I liked it. So definitely the movie is 100 times better. It deals with all of the issues in a much more modern sort of considered way than the book does. The book is just would not recommend. Would not recommend. And the final question is series or standalones? I love standalones. As much as I prefer shorter series, I also just prefer it if the book is a standalone, because then it's like tick and done, and I don't feel like I have this massive, insurmountable commitment that I have to try and get through. I love standalones, but only if they're done well. I get frustrated if they're so long, like if they're not nicely finished, that I'm like, why didn't you just write another book? So that brings us to the end of the tag. That was actually really fun to do. I am pleased with my decision to do this tag. I am going to tag Steph at Novelty Corner, and I'm going to tag Beck at Beckled Panda. I haven't seen you guys do this recently, so if you have, I apologize, but otherwise I would love to see your answers for this. But I will leave this video here, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.